TD has just added a new summer battle pass, which has 8 free skins and 7 premium skins, giving us a total of 15 brand new skins. This honestly might be the best battle pass we've ever gotten, so in this video, I'm going to be showcasing every single level of every single skin, then give my personal ranking of how good they are. So, hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get started. I'll be first covering the free skins, and then moving on to the premium, so if you only care about the premium skins, skip to this part of the video. For our first skin, we have the Shark Scout. At level 0, it's a shark with some orange pants, a white shirt, and a water gun. On its back, it has a big tail and a fin. At level 1, it gets some swim goggles. At level 2, it gets a flower necklace. At level 3, it gets a blue shirt and a snorkel. And at max level, it now has 2 water guns and 2 floaties around its arms. His tail also has a floaty on it, and I'm just wondering, how did that fit? That tail is way too big. This is how it looks attacking at level 0. And this is how it looks attacking at max level. This is a fantastic start to the battle pass, not just being a good scout skin, but a really nice skin overall. I love the shark theme, and the floaties it has are adorable. Great design and fits perfectly in a summer battle pass. Already a 9 out of 10. For our next skin, we have the Shrimp Sniper. At level 0, it has a spear gun and a shrimp hat on its head. At level 1, the shrimp is now bigger and has some black gloves. At level 2, the shrimp is even bigger and has some scales on its arm. At level 3, it now has 2 big whiskers, a red scarf, and a red tail. And at max level, it now has a darker orange skin color, red stripes across his body, a chef hat, and on its back, it has a wok with some fried rice. Are you telling me a shrimp fried this rice? This is how it looks attacking at level 0. And this is how it looks attacking at max level. I think the earlier levels are a bit strange, but I love the max level. It's a really goofy design, and while the max level is great, I'm gonna rank it a 7.3 out of 10, since the earlier levels are a bit unsettling. For our next skin, we have the Pool Party Pyromancer. At level 0, it has a water gun flamethrower, a swimming outfit, and on its back, it has a cooler with a big fat water bottle. At level 1, it gets 2 floaties on its arms. At level 2, it gets a blue flower pattern shirt. At level 3, it gets an orange bandana, and his hair gets orange tips. And on its back, it now has a wider cooler with 2 big water bottles. At level 4, it gets a white cap and some sunglasses, and at max level, it now has a bigger water gun. When attacking, it shoots out water, making this the only Pyromancer skin in the game to have a custom projectile. Unfortunately, I'm not that big a fan of its design, as it's a bit too basic. It's literally just a guy in a swim outfit, but I gotta give it some credit for being the first Pyromancer with a custom projectile, so I'll give it a 7.5. For our next skin, we have one of my favorites, the Hermit Trapper. At level 0, it has dark black skin, a red scarf, a white shell hat, and his trap is a little crab with a shell. On its back, it has another big white shell. At level 1, it gets some funky glasses. At level 2, the crab is now spikier, and it gets a green sleeping bag and cane on its back. At level 3, it now has some extra spiky armor on its arms, and at max level, it gets some claws on its head and some extra armor on its shoulders. This is how it looks holding the spike trap, this is how it looks holding the landmine, and this is how it looks holding the bear trap. This is how the spikes look at level 0, and this is how they look past level 2. This is how the bombs look at level 2, and this is how they look at max level. Finally, this is how the bear traps look. I cannot put into words how much I love this skin. The design is incredible, with a satisfying and well put together color palette, a cute theme, and some amazing custom traps. This is definitely the best trapper skin in the game, and an easy 10 out of 10. For our next skin, we have the Shark Warden. At level 0, it's a shark with a couple of bruises and a mace with an ominous purple glow. From behind, it has an animated shark tail with 2 scars. At level 1, it gets a black cap and some black gloves with purple spikes. At level 2, it gets a black vest with some white spikes, and the mace is bigger. At level 3, it gets some gray pants and a white visor on its head, and at max level, it now has a different animation, purple spikes on its head, and it's resting its mace on its back. The mace is now much bigger and has 2 clubs, and he has a big purple shield with another mace hanging off of it. This is how it looks attacking at level 0, and this is how it looks attacking at max level. This is another amazing skin. Every single level is fantastic, with a great amount of detail and just such a cool design. This is already such a great battle pass, and this is another easy 10 out of 10. For our next skin, we have the Aqua Commander. At level 0, he has a very torn up green shirt, a golden blue trident, and a seashell in his hand. At level 1, he gets some golden armor. At level 2, he gets even more golden armor and some dark blue armor on his shoulder. At level 3, it gets some green and golden clothes covering his torso. And at max level, it now has a thicker golden crown, a bigger green and golden shell, and a pointier golden trident. On his back, he has some golden black armor and a blue golden flowing cape. He also has some custom voice lines.
Attack my aquatic comrades! Strength in numbers!
Unfortunately, the skin does not have custom APCs, which is a real shame. He also shoots out custom water projectiles from his trident. The actual skin's design is fantastic, and I love the custom voice lines. It's just really unfortunate that it doesn't have any custom APCs, but it has enough custom stuff and a good enough design that I still want to rank it as an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have the Shark Ranger. A level 0, it's a shark with a beige color, a big black hat, and a gun with a shark head at the end. It also has a brown shark tail. At level 1, it gets some black gloves. At level 2, it gets some protective pads across his body. At level 3, it has some black cloth hanging from his hat, and at max level, it now has a much bigger gun with an X shape, and it has some barnacles growing out of its body, a much bigger tail, and a ragged torn up red cape. This is how it looks attacking at level 0, and this is how it looks attacking at max level. As you can see, it has a cool custom water laser. These skins just do not disappoint. Holy crap, this skin looks cool. The earlier levels are great, but the amount of detail at max level is stunning. I love its big tail and torn up cape. I love the over-the-top gun, and the idea of a shark sniper is so cool. This is at least a 9.5 out of 10. I don't know why I'm not rating it a 10. 9.5 is just what came to my head. Next up, we have the final skin of the free pass, the Jellyfish Electroshocker. At level 0, it has a blue coat, a blue and pink jellyfish hat, and a custom idle animation. This is how it looks from behind, with the tentacles from the jellyfish forming its hair. At level 1, it gets some extra armor on its feet and wrists. At level 2, the jellyfish now has a red outline on its design, and from behind, they get a neat little cape. At level 3, the clothes now have a blue and golden design, and she has a little book at her waist. At level 4, they are now floating in the air while holding a book in their hand. The jellyfish on their head now has a golden sigil, and there were 2 additional floating jellyfish behind it. And at max level, she now switches to a red and golden color palette, which also changes her jellyfish. This is how they look attacking at level 0. And this is how they look attacking at max level. Dude, they just can't stop making good skins. Look at how this skin looks at max level. It is insane. I'm telling y'all, this battle pass is amazing. All the levels look great. It's a really cool idea. It has custom animations and custom sound effects, a fantastic design. What more could you ask for? This is another easy 10 out of 10 skin. With that, we're now moving on to the premium skins, with our first one being the Akaron Militant skin. At level 0, it is a basic green military outfit with some moderate armor and a nice custom gun. On its back, it has a green bag. At level 1, it gets some headphones and a light on its helmet, and it gets some black and green gloves. At level 2, they get a slightly bigger helmet, a bigger gun, and some shoulder pads. Yeah, hell yeah. At level 3, they get a camera on their helmet, and at max level, it now has some black details across its armor, black sunglasses, and a bigger gun with a laser sight. This is how it looks attacking at level 0. And this is how it looks attacking at max level. While the skin is high quality, I just find it really boring. It doesn't fit in with the theme of the battle pass at all, and it's just a basic green soldier. And even if it's apparently a Halo Marine, I'm gonna give it a fat 4 out of 10. I don't like it. For our next skin, we have the Vendor Freezer. At level 1, it has a pink shirt, white pants, a headband, a pink gun, and on his back, he's got a huge cooler. At level 1, it now has a white hat, and the cooler has a different design. At level 2, he now has a blue shirt and an apron with a smiling ice cream, and on his back, you can now see inside the cooler, which has some nice ice cream. At level 3, the apron now has a pink outlining, and the hands are Z fighting, good lord. And on his back, it now has a different cooler, which contains a bunch of popsicles. Bro, what is he wearing? At max level, he gets some funky, weird helmet, a striped apron, and on its back, some of the ice creams now have faces. This is how it looks attacking at level 0. And this is how it looks attacking at max level. I'm sorry, but this skin is hideous. What is he wearing at max level? This is one of the worst skins I've seen in a battle pass for a while. Honestly, 1 out of 10. Get this thing out of my face. Thankfully, our next skin is a lot better, that being the Crab Farm. At level 0, it's a sandbox with 2 crabs playing with some money and a little sandcastle. At level 1, the sandcastle is a bit bigger, there's more dollar bills, and there's a blue bucket. At level 2, the sandcastle is now much bigger, and one of the crabs is inside of the bucket. At level 3, the sandcastle now has 3 more towers, and the bucket has some golden coins. At level 4, the castle now has 2 more towers, which each have a red flag. There's also an additional starfish and more gold inside of the bucket. And at max level, there's now a big ass king crab waving around $2 bills. It also has a custom animation and sound effect when making money. This is a very big improvement from the freezer. I love how silly this farm is, with the stupid dancing crab at the end and the neat little sandcastle. Nowadays, there is some big competition for being the best farm, and I don't think its money effect was very flashy, so I'm gonna give it a solid 9.5 out of 10, and it's probably my second favorite farm skin in the game. Next up, we have the Lobster Brawler. At level 0, it has a lobster appearance with 2 big red claws, 2 antennas, and on its back, it has a moving lobster tail. At level 1, it gets a pair of green goggles. At level 2, it gets some stripes on its face and some spikes on its its claws. At level 3, it gets a new apron and a belt around its waist. At level 4, it gets some even bigger claws and some spiky shoulder pads. And at max level, it gets some longer legs, and it gets a second fin on top of its tail. This is how it looks attacking at level 0. And this is how it looks attacking at max level. This is how it looks using its ability. This skin has a sick design and a really cool concept, but it's a little bit unsettling, especially when it gets taller at max level. Something about this does not feel right. Still, I do think it's really cool, so I'm gonna give it an 8.7 out of 10. Actually, f that. This is a big ass lobster with custom animations and a really cool custom jump. I'm giving this at least a 9.3 out of 10. Next up, we got the Beach Engineer skin. Oh god. TDS, what have you done? At level 0, they have purple hair, a swimsuit, and a big plastic water gun. At level 1, they get a pearl wristband and an emerald necklace. At level 2, they get some sunglasses and a bag. At level 3, they get a blue flower pattern shirt. At level 4, they get a green hat and an apron that says number 2 tower. And at max level, their gun gets a bit bigger and their left arm gets replaced with some kind of machine. This is how their sentries look at level 0. This is how the sentries look at level 3. This is how the sentries look at level 4, getting a blue shield. This is how they look at level 5. And this is how they look at max level, having some hot dog missile launchers. This is a nice skin, and while there isn't really anything bad about it, it doesn't really blow me away either. It's a simple summer skin with the nice detail of some custom sentries. So I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. Next up, we have the Seal DJ booth. At level 0, there's a seal standing on a stage with 2 totems beside it, 2 torches, and the seal is playing on a ukulele, wearing a flower pattern shirt. From behind, we can see he has a cute little animated seal tail. At level 1, it gets some leaves on its head. At level 2, the seal is now leaning against the stage, and the totems have some neon yellow speakers inside of them. At level 3, the stage is now much bigger with a leaf roof, some neon yellow lights, and a much bigger totem to the side with an angrier expression. The seal also now has a flower on their head, and there's a bamboo background. At level 4, there's now a cute little seal playing on the bongos and a big palm tree swaying in the back. And at max level, the stage is now much bigger. There's a ton of dancing crabs. There's another seal on the floor, and it just visually looks crazy. From behind, we can see that there's now an extra palm tree because, you know, it's got to be symmetrical. And of course, this skin has a custom song. That is a vibe. I really like this skin. I mean, how couldn't I? It's literally a band of seals playing music, but it's also well animated and the song is really chill. So yeah, boom, another 10 out of 10 easily. And that leads us into our last skin, the Octopus Accelerator. At level 0, it has a witch hat, a dark face with 2 neon yellow eyes, some purple hair, and some cool black clothing. On its back, they have 4 tentacles. At level 1, they get a neon yellow circle on their hat. At level 2, their clothing switches to a purple and golden color palette, and they get a big neon yellow tank at their back. At level 3, it gets some violet details on its robe and some white bandages at its feet, and it gets some neon yellow symbols and eyes on its tentacles. At level 4, it gets some purple wrapping on its hat, and the tentacles now have even more neon yellow symbols. At a max level, it changes to a purple and green color palette and gets some extra decoration on its hat, and the same color palette swap happens to its tentacles. This is how it looks attacking at level 0. And this is how it looks attacking at max level. As you can see, it has a custom animation, sound effect, and laser. This is such a fantastic way to end off the battle pass. It's one of the few cases where an accelerator skin looks good at every single level. A lot of the times, due to the color palette switch at max level, it's either only good at max level or gets a lot worse at max level. But in this case, both of the color schemes are amazing and it looks simply incredible. The tentacles are awesome, it has a custom shooting animation, and 2 different amazing looking lasers. I mean, the laser at max level is probably the best laser out of any accelerator skin. Easy 10 out of 10, and probably my new favorite accelerator skin. Well, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments which of these skins is your favorite and whether or not you agree with my rankings. Also, let me know if you think this was a good battle pass, because personally, I think it's great. And if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to join the Blue Head Mafia. Also, if you want to talk to me, consider checking out my Discord. We got some pretty cool features, like a custom party finder bot that will automatically pair you up with other people who are trying to do the same strategy. There's a link to the server pinned in the comments. And finally, I want to give a huge shout out to these channel members for supporting my content. If you want to add me as a friend on Roblox or get early access to some of my videos, consider becoming a channel member. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.